I asked 790 LinkedIn professionals, why does innovation stop? And only 8% says feasibility. 92% says other reasons. No management buy-in is the biggest one. It's all about soft skills, and soft skills are so hard.
Yeah, I totally agree. And working with executives or leaders, team leads, I found for innovation projects or new initiatives, the biggest areas for failure are for those who have not been able to lead the project to conclusion or implement it successfully. And it's because the teams weren't engaged or motivated. There wasn't alignment between strategy and execution. And all of that takes soft skills. How do you motivate, inspire, engage, co-create? How to ensure conflict resolution and facilitate those areas, and then integrate all of that knowledge for strategy making in order to execute effectively.
Let me make this personal, right?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be here having a conversation about innovation if it wasn't for what happened to me as an engineer. I worked for big companies, chemical engineering, it's mostly big, multinational, and I got frustrated because basically, what you just said, the bits of the ingredients for innovation, you put money in the machine, pull the handle, you put some smart people in the machine, pull the handle, it doesn't quite deliver what it could.
No.
It doesn't fail badly necessarily, but it doesn't do it as well as it could. And that frustrated me, and I got the chance to do my PhD. But essentially, the question that I found resonated with my colleagues that I was working with, trying to understand how does innovation happen, was it's the soft skills.
Great.
But
No,
there is a but. Because,
come on.
No. Partly it's implicit in saying, so we can't do anything about it. Yes, we can.
Of course.
First of all, we know what sorts of skills matter. And secondly, there are many disciplines,
Now, what are for you then the major soft skills an innovator needs? What are they?
Well, first of all, understanding that in the end it's a people thing.
Yes.
Okay. So
what you also said.
If you say buy-in, these are not robots making a calculation. These are human beings, and they can be swayed by emotional and other arguments. Understanding what motivates teams,
can I jump in here?
etc.
Despite all evidence to the contrary, even engineers are human because apparently they get frustrated. And that would be my point, right? The way that an engineer is taught to convince somebody else does not include a recognition of a concept called frustration. You don't have a second order differential
You don't have
equation.
frustrated engineers? No, you've got loads of them.
But you do, but you're not given a mathematical equation for dealing with the frustration. It's totally outside your range of capability.
People, not all engineers are artistic. Come on.
No, I'm not saying that at all. My point is, despite all evidence to the contrary, in the way that an engineer should get another human subject to their frustration to change, that any of the engineering skills that they're given, right, are nothing to do with dealing with frustration.
Of course.
But you are asserting that these soft skills are hard. They're easy. You're just not going to learn them as an engineer.
There is another dimension, of course, which is that you can learn the theory, so you can plug in psychology or anything else in an engineering curriculum. That's a skill that comes with practice. That
of course.
Emotional intelligence, all these other labels we stick on it, that comes with practice.
Of course.
I'm not going to click anymore. I think I'll put it off.
Innovation life was gloomy. There were days when the sun never shone at all. I'd spent all my life trying to second guess, but I kept on hitting the wall. There's so much to take account of, so many things might change. I was wrong more often than I was right.
That's true.
The only certain thing in that uncertain
So back to the question here, why are soft innovation skills hard? Why it's hard to learn? Why is it, come on, convincing people, come on.
Because it demands self-development. It demands time to evaluate yourself and to practice and to work with other humans. But at the same time, it's a wonderful experience. It can be a challenging experience, I know, and you're working in teams and there's a lot of frustration. You're like, why can't they listen to my idea? Why can't we get this done? But the whole process of moving through that creates these wonderful skills too, or great skills in terms of conflict resolution, problem solving, looking at how to communicate effectively, how to co-create and collaborate, and so on. And I think in the process, in the outcome, a lot of the teams that I've worked with, yes, they're frustrated at the beginning, and yes, they're frustrated throughout the process. And these are teams from different disciplines, different cultures. But then at the end, as they move through that pain, at the end, they always, well, most of the time, produce a really great solution. And that's where you see that, that's where they appreciate that transformation, that journey.
I'm with Dilbert, the engineering solution on this. Sometimes the best way to solve the morale problem is simply to fire all of the unhappy people.
That's too easy.
I completely agree with you, but
that's
the learning here,
that's the engineering solution.
You cannot learn without pain.
Yeah.
That's what you
And
say. If you
also,
first must have the crisis, the pain, and then you feel the urgency that you need to improve, right?
Yeah, and getting back to project-based learning. So looking at not only the theory in the classroom and looking at the experimentation, but project-based learning where you have to collaborate with others and co-create and problem solve. So I think this is important, not only in the classroom, but when you're looking inside the company. When we're working on projects and launching new initiatives, how often do we make time to kind of co-create and share knowledge and learn from each other throughout that project process?
So I think this is actually potentially a symptom of a bigger problem.
What's that?
So scientists, which are the basis of kind of our technical disciplines, start in the scientific method with a concept of skepticism and a lack of, to avoid confirmation bias. And as a result of that, they don't consider evidentiary anything that is subjective. It must be an objective consideration. And if you're taught to focus on objective considerations, it's quite difficult to communicate in a human way because it's fundamentally subjective. Would you agree, Karina, that it's this ability to scale a kind of a subjectivity or an empathy is actually the core problem that Gijs is trying to say that's hard. But if you've been trained to be objective, you can't even see subjectivity, much less quantify it, much less qualify it, or be able to manipulate it or use it. And it's not difficult to do because you're already doing it before you're an engineer. Hence my other point, right? As an engineer, you're still surprisingly human to me.